Hey everybody, we're back again. I'm Jason Liosatos. My show Outside the Box, freshly banned off YouTube. What an honor, yeah. What an honor, yeah. Well, I got to tell them I backed up all my videos, so I'm afraid you didn't wipe me completely clean. Today I've got great guest, the returning guest, Steve Wybrow, or he's a free investigative journalist over in Vienna, along with Eril Kaya, who is a human being born free of the land. Doesn't that sound lovely? It's got like a perfume to it, hasn't it? Why? Because we're so enslaved that those things sound weird now, right? It's like, come on, you say freedom, happiness, joy, love, caring, sharing, yeah, a moneyless society. So I'll kick us off as usual, guys, with a tiny rant, yeah. What an exciting, you guys are going to blow our minds today with what's going on in Austria and Vienna. And well done to you both for being you and doing your great work to help people become free. I'm delighted to be on the planet at the moment. There's a lot of people suffering. I've been talking about freedom for humanity for 30 years with my shows and my writing and my book. Got to show my book. Sorry, guys. I got to show off a bit on the show. There's my book, The Emergency Transformation of Human Beings. What's happened now, ladies and gentlemen, it's collapsed, purposely collapsed, or accidentally collapsed, which way you look at it. We'll talk about that on the show. I've warned for many years, as I'm sure you guys have, if we don't create another system independent of an unscrupulous government, unethical government, then one day it might collapse on us and we'll be rendered virtually helpless. That is being proved now, that with one swipe of a pen or one 6 o'clock news broadcast, we can be imprisoned in our own houses like little girls and boys, like Oliver Twist. Please, sir, tell me when I can go out and things like that. I haven't. That's why I was banned off YouTube, because I was up with David Icke in London, interviewing people on the street, hugging everybody. So what a great chance for you. Question now is, can we transition before we are sucked back into that vortex of money, greed, and power and struggle? Or can we create another society of freedom, joy, happiness, and a beautiful future for humanity? And that's what you guys are helping to do. So I really appreciate your work. And thanks to everyone else out there who's doing good work. Where do you want to start, guys? Where should we go? I've had my little rant.
Yeah, thank you for that. So I'd like to start with a little bit of an introduction. So you've had me on your show before. I think we had like 2 conversations or so. And can you remember right at the beginning of the whole COVID scam? Because now we can talk freely because we're not on YouTube. That was on the 21st of March. And back then, I was still a lonely warrior, still finding my way through the maze and setting intentions and like saying, yeah, let me have a crack at this. What have you got to lose? I mean, what is freedom but nothing left to lose? And that's where we are heading right now. What have we got to lose? Nothing. And that's why we can go for everything. And it's been an exciting year. There's a lot to get into. And I got to know, because I'm based here in Austria. My dad's English from London. So I've got that influence also. And I met Eril in September last year. And ever since we met, the momentum has shifted and there's major developments here in Austria. And yeah, I want to give it over to Eril, how he sees how things have developed since we've met and teamed up.
Right. Hello, guys. Basically, I've known Steve since September, and since I've come in to the equation, Stephen, his people, his friends, they were already in the process of doing great work. They were holding a weekly demo in a city called Linz, city of Linz, and every Friday they do this demo and they make speeches and inform the people of what's actually going on. And that was the only one that was happening from the beginning of the lockdown here in Austria. What's happened with that is it's picked up energetically, it's picked up a momentum energetically. And since I've come into the equation too, I've introduced Steve and the group, the team, to how to work with the energetics of the land, like doing specific ceremonies in specific locations on the land, and activating specific locations of the land so the energetics can come through and marry what we're doing physically to get the message out. And eventually what's happened is we've carried that momentum of energy through to the city of Vienna. Since the 16th of January, we had the first big demonstration in Vienna. And there's something important about Vienna, not the city itself, but the land it's built on. It's a very significant portal. That's why all the major battles of the empires through history have been for the city of Vienna, because it's a portal, and whoever controls Vienna determines what takes place in the rest of Europe. You see, so what happens in Vienna, what happens everywhere else in Europe. And we activated that portal on the 16th through energy work. And what that did was it allowed us to conduct a huge ceremony involving 60,000 plus people. And we marched together. And whoever was there at that ceremony, including the police force who were there, were initiated back into humanity. Because what the cabal, what the dark side of the cult does is, through this corona crisis, it's initiating humanity into evil. So we kind of reversed that in Vienna. And now the energy of that travels through to the rest of Europe. And that's why in Europe now we're seeing a big uprise. But what we're actually seeing is a demolition of the old. The system is falling. And so far we've had 3 huge demonstrations in Vienna. And the first one was great. It was beautiful. And the second one we had, there was a bit of resistance in the beginning on behalf of the pressure that the police were under from the instructions of their mafia bosses. So they built a wall, but energetically, we eventually broke through their wall and we were able to march through the streets freely. And there was like maybe 100,000, maybe plus people, where in the first demonstration, there was 60,000. This time there was 100,000 plus, and the police couldn't do anything but just watch from the side, from the pavements. And because of this, we had a third demo last Saturday, the Saturday that just passed. And it was pretty much the same thing, but however, there was more resistance. The police were tougher, and this time they had guard dogs, police dogs. But still, once we broke through that energetic barrier, they had no power again. And we marched again as usual, and there was thousands of people again, and it was great. So now what's happening is the government here is basically destroying themselves. It's being destroyed from within. But that can also be dangerous as well. That could also be a good thing. It depends on how we, the people, take responsibility for this, and we create the new way, because the governments are being destroyed all over the world now, but that's systematically done. But the mafia who owns the governments still exists, and the problem is the mafia. Isn't that right, Steve?
Yeah, it's like an iceberg model, as I like to compare it. So you're so observant of the peak of the iceberg, which only represents maybe 3% of the entire iceberg. And what most people miss out on, they place their anger toward the politicians, but they don't know that the politicians are in a quagmire. As soon as you are in the political frame, you have no way of changing anything or doing things the way you see them fit in your individual perspective of a situation. That does not exist in the political sphere and has not existed for decades. And when people try it, you have to ask Gaddafi how that went, you see? So there's a limited time where you can do things individually, and then you get the chop by the mafia. And this worldwide mafia is what we are aiming at here in Vienna. It is, as Eril just explained, this is the energetic component to how you take back your country. This is what we're aiming at. If we don't do it correctly and wholeheartedly and take it by the roots, then we won't succeed. It is impossible to succeed. So there are no compromises. There is no compromise to be made with criminals that are pedophiles and Satanists at the heart of this system. And you need to take everything back, and you have to be ruthless. And the one part that Eril described is the energetic component. Like I like to describe it in the ways that you saw with Capitol Hill, with the theatrics of Trump and Antifa infiltrating there, going into the White House and all the drama around that. Now, that is exactly the way how you don't take over and don't take back your country. It's exactly the way you don't do that. Yeah, I like that. Exactly.
That's my recent painting of Trump, you know.
Brilliant.
There he is.
Very good. Very
Yeah,
good.
the false savior.
False savior, exactly.
We leave it by there, is it?
It's a, yeah, and
we'll talk about him later on, I'm sure.
Absolutely. And you see, that gives you a picture of how you don't do it, okay? You don't storm parliament buildings. You don't storm anything, because that is a symptom that you're fighting against. The problem is not with the politicians. It goes far deeper than that, even beyond the mafia, into non-human domain, into real Satanism, into mind control, into the dark force that has wanted control over the entire planet for a long time, and now it's pulled the trigger, and we're getting rid of Satan himself. That's what we're talking about. You see, you have to really go to the realm of Satan and tell Satan that this planet, the first say who's got any say in this, is humanity, because we, through our mitochondrial DNA, are intrinsically linked to the planet, and that's what they don't want you to know about. So Eril can give you insight into how we do this energetically through a connection with the land and the spirits of the land, and doing rituals there, whereas I can give an insight into how you do it politically through notice of liability approach. Because the one who takes responsibility is the one in command. And he who does not take responsibility, i.e. the politicians, don't take any responsibility for their psychopathic behavior that they're helping to perpetrate. They have no power, but you have the power, because you take responsibility and you put it back onto them.
Mm-hmm.
You tell them, if you want to continue with that planned genocide, I'm telling you, I'm holding you privately liable for all damages caused. And that's what I discovered after 4 years of deep research into it. Liability is the self-correcting mechanism of the system. Everything else is smokes and mirrors, constitutions. Do you think the elites give a damn about the constitution? They don't give a damn about it. They created the constitutions to fool us, because they don't want us to find out about the hidden dynamics of law and of power, and how power really works. And that's why we talk about energetics, and we talk about law in terms of real power, and how real power originates from the level of information you have access to. And that's what we delve deeply into: occult information, information that has been purposefully hidden from the public, because there are certain types of information where you can take down the entire pyramid structure that we have been enslaved by. And that's what we're aiming here in Austria. And we couldn't be more confident at this moment. We've got tens of thousands of people out on the streets every time. And it's always peaceful, because we make the intention before the demonstration. We put up our hand and we say we take full responsibility for what happens today. And then you are really in charge of the demonstration. Although there's people that couldn't be further away from the perceptions that we have. They have totally different perception, but it's sealed and protected because of our intention. And that is true modern shamanism as we are discovering through our own experiences.
For protection of the higher source.
Bravo, bravo. Brilliant, gentlemen. Thank you very much for that. That's music to my ears for sure, because this is the moment I've been waiting for 30 years. Not just a revolution, as in revolutions, but a revolution of consciousness and a re-establishing of our shamanic abilities. I've done shamanic work, and it's like we don't talk about that stuff. It's like, no, it's just very interesting. I've been attacked by someone in physical form, which proved to me that you can actually manipulate matter via consciousness from a distance, just the same way as you can heal. I've done some shows and stuff with Lynn McTaggart. She's a great lady who wrote The Power of Eight, and they heal people, the power of healing. And let me just have a quick rant now, because I just want to get this off my chest. It's really interesting. And like you said, the shackles and the slavery, that's why I like Mark Passio's work so much. As you know, I've been looking at his work for a long time. And when I heard him, it was like, thank God, here's someone with some balls and guts, to say it as it is. And he was in that dark aspect, wasn't he? And the priesthood or whatever he was doing. And he's heard them laughing at us, So listen, if you don't stand up to these things, it gives them carte blanche. It's like, I can't talk about, satanic abuse of children. Yeah, because you're complicit in it. Exactly. If you can't face it, you're bloody complicit in it. And they are laughing at you, and that gives them carte blanche to do whatever they want. And as Mark says, they're laughing at you. They're saying, well, hey, they're not going to do anything. They're all love and light. They're the spiritual love and light merchants. No, it's that shamanic thing. Now, I want to talk about this very quickly before I get you guys back, because the notice of liability is great. And the shamanic thing, I've been talking about this for a while with the shamanic thing, that at some point, and that's why, in my opinion, that's why I wrote that book, The Emergency Transformation. One of the greatest emergencies for us is remembering, dismembering, relocating, dislocating back to that power within ourselves. Now, I do put caveats in, because that power in the wrong hands can do dreadful things. Like Jesus said, if you believe he was you, Jesus said, you can do what I can do and more. Can you? And there's that molasses slowness time. I'm coming to a point in a second. There's a molasses slowness time lag between decision and its fruition. And that is actually humans' protection against itself in its current imbalanced psychological state. Because if we could leapfrog that manipulation of matter, like someone like Jesus or shamans I know can do, and I've done stuff myself as well, removing lumps, then there'd be piles of Ferraris and naked women everywhere. We're not responsible enough to have it before, So I know I'm going on a little bit about it here, but I think that's what's called for, and I'm so glad to hear you guys talking about it, because I've talked about this now as well. We have to shamanically become empowered now. And once you do, and I spoke to Bruce Lipton about this, we call the show The Manipulation of Matter via Consciousness. Once we can direct that energy wisely, not as a weapon, but as a tool to dismantle and disempower the forces, the evil forces, which think they've got control of this, because they're doing it to everybody else, right? It's like, oh no, you mustn't do like that because you become like them. No.
Very untrue.
They're doing it to us. I had a lady, let me just put a little picture. I know I'm going on a bit, but a lady came in my shop and she was love and light. And yeah, Jason, everything's happening perfectly. What you resist, persist. I said, look, if someone's going to sodomize my child, I will jump on them and break their neck, or maybe just crick their necks, just disable. She said, oh, well, but perhaps that's your karma. You've got to go through that maybe and see that. It's like, look, just get out, right? You're pathetic. They love that. Hitler's armies, I know both sides of the war were funded by the same people, but, there's an army of maniacs with machetes coming over the hill, and everyone's going, oh, we must just face them with love and light and go down, let them hit us with truncheons. What the fuck's going on, right?
Yeah.
Can you believe that shit? Right? Sorry to swear, everybody, but it needs swearing. We need to get excited. Oh, Jason's getting excited. Yeah, but I'm very calm when it comes to focus. So I've spoken to people about this, people you might even know, and I've said to them, posed the question, at what point do you think we can use our shamanic abilities to actually change reality in the future. Because what we're seeing at the moment, like people like George Bush, like Gaddafi, we talked about earlier, all those kinds of things. Look what happened to them, right? And who's responsible? That's why I like the notice of liabilities. Who's responsible for all this? Is it the guy who drops the bombs from the aircraft? Is it the weapons manufacturer? Is it Tony Blair? Is it Bush? It's bloody all of them, right?
Yeah.
And now all the refugees coming in, the feedback loops from what was done in Iraq, blah, 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 blah. I know I'm going on about it, but that's why I'm really, really excited to hear what you're saying, because the biggest emergency in my eyes is that people reestablish their power, remember their latent abilities, which are there. It's not something you have to try and get, it's something you've already got. But the smelling salts is under people's nose now. Thank God for COVID. It's like, wake up, everybody. What, and I feel humanity now is like a wounded antelope. It's been brought to its knees. It's been rendered helpless. It's in its houses. And now we're being circled by hyenas who are making notes and saying, guess what we're going to do to you next? We're going to bring in the Great Reset, the Great Cash Flows, the this, the that, the that. And people are so helpless. They'll say, please give me my old life back. Even if it was slavery, it'll seem like freedom now, you know. It's an amazing time, but I believe there's a portal energetically, shamanically, globally with the earth, a portal of energy and opportunity now. There's a pincher point. Can we do that quick enough before these bastards build this prison around us? I'll go on about it a bit later, but that's just wanted to get that off my chest.
Corona is crown. It's our crown, which is ourself. It's the evolution of ourselves. So the human race is on the verge of being crowned right now. And nothing can stop this from coming. And nothing.
And it comes as a blessing, because I hated the normal before Corona. How pathetic.
It was prison.
It was running around. Yeah. What's your hobbies? Smartphone, smartphone, smartphone. What a load of bollocks. Has nothing to do with life at all. And I hated it. Therefore, I bless Corona, because you know what I learned from the great man, David Icke? Life gives you your greatest gifts disguised as your worst nightmare. Yeah, there you go. Step into your power, humanity, and stop just informing yourself. Because Plato's cave, we're stuck in Plato's cave, observing the shadows on the wall, projected by the fire that we have burning. And now people think they're awake because they're observing the shadow projections of the alternative media. It's not enough. You don't have to wake people up. You have to wake up.
Yeah.
Because you're still stuck in Plato's cave, telling me that the other people around you still have to wake you up. No, you have to wake up. And that's what people really need to get, is here for our self-development.
Individual transformation is what's going to do this, because if everyone transforms themselves, then the whole human orchestra will automatically transform into concert pitch and harmony again. And then those bastards with their sticks, the conductors who are trying to control everyone, it won't work anymore. That's why you see in Vienna, even the dogs are probably being, put to rest, But exactly, Stephen, that was normal. Jesus Christ, if that seems normal to everybody, that is not normal. Mark Passu, I'm sure, I wish he was here. Slavery, I bet he's sick of talking about it. I want to give Mark Passu a message, and I've asked him on the show, and I know how busy you are, Mark. Mark, I'm really sorry that you've got to keep talking about this shit, right? And he said it himself quite often. I'm so sorry, Mark, that you've had to keep doing this, but it's your job. I know that's why you're here. You're on the planet exactly at the right time. We all are, right? But my God, if that was normal, going to work, not seeing your children, not seeing your wife, the system turns us on ourselves. Men getting out of bed in the morning, looking back at their wives and children thinking, shit, I've got to do this again just to pay bills. My God, what a repetitious hell.
It's over.
It's over. Now, what we'll try, it's like, when the universe says to you, it's over, and then you try and start doing it again the same way.
You suffer more.
You're going to get whacked, man. Yeah.
You're going to get slayed by the source. We call it the self-slaying mechanism of the source. we all have to slay ourselves to rise above what we were, to evolve.
We needed a death, didn't we? We needed
Yeah.
a death.
Spiritual cleansing, yeah. Decay is the beginning of all birth in the Hermetic tradition. And that's what these dark forces are for. They're here to teach us a lesson. And when we learn that lesson, then we upgrade to the next level of evolution.
And then we take them with us and purify them, you see? I mean, we've been asked a simple question on behalf of the source right now as a human race. Human beings, are you evil or are you good? That's all this is. And the people who submit to evil, they will perish. And they will be purified by the light of the source eventually. So it's about how quick we can slay ourselves, as I said earlier. Like all the resistance within us that comes up is coming up now. How quick and efficient we can slay all the resistance to surrender to what's coming. It will be an easier ride for us. That's the key. We have to be open to this. We have to surf the wave.
And I'd like to jump in there because this has all to do when we talk about slaying things from within ourselves. I would term it in Jungian terms as shadow integration work.
Yep.
Integrating the own shadow. I can't be pointing outward all the time at the bankers and the Satanists and the occultists. Yes, they exist. Yes, you can analyze it. No problem about that whatsoever. But there's circles in creation, and the first circle you need to look at is your own circle. And I loved how Lena Poo described that in the conversation I had, which was censored by YouTube. Then the circle from outside of you is your family. From your family, your friends. And you start creating harmonious relationships and healing those relationships. But first of all, it's on us, because we have that darkness inside of us. And true spirituality shows you a symbol of the yin and the yang. You see, that is a symbol that is based in truth. We don't have to just be the light and this spiritual diarrhea that has come from the new age crapism. Sorry to be so absolutely adamant on that. But like the example that you explained, well, that's probably your karma. No, that's just wrong. You see, we need to get to true spirituality. And that it means for me is to keep a balance of the light and the dark, like the yin and the yang, and integrate those emotions. Now, how do I do that? Humanity right now, and I can absolutely feel with that. I'm very sensitive also how people feel. And that's one of my great strengths I have. But a lot of people are sensitive and they stay stuck in their low vibrational emotions. Now, how do you get out? I would assist people in that is to feel those emotions. And when they are here, instead of, because what our mind, that's where the mind control kicks in, which also is the etymological root of government, means mind control. That's the biggest problem we have in the world, believing in the religion of government. But inside of ourselves is the life force energy is trying to flow through us. So we are already connecting to the new earth, to the new paradigm, to the paradise that is the earth, which we are creating anew now. We're already connected to it. It's trying to flow through us, the life force energy. And the life force energy is the realm of emotions, the realm of feelings. Now, when I have stuck emotions are stuck feelings like anger, like sadness, which is absolutely crucial because and absolutely sane and healthy to be angry, to be sad at the predicament that we face right now. I mean, what an insanity asylum. What an insane psychopathic world we inhabit still now. But we're transforming it, and we're transforming it through ourselves. Feel that pain, feel that sadness, and don't stay stuck on the mind which tries to tell you, oh, you are this little You are this little boy, little girl who will never grow up and you'll never ever be free. Don't stop interpreting with your mind and just stay in the heart and be with that feeling and cherish it with love. Do exactly the opposite of what the mind would do, which is stay stuck in it and, oh, I'm angry and humanity is never going to evolve, but just be with it, feel it, and it will pass. When you learn feeling, when you learn to feel, that's your biggest strength as a human being, because then the source energy can flow through you.
Go on.
The method is slay the resistance within yourself to surrender to the will of the source. Come out of the mind first, go into the heart. Forget about this. Okay, come into the heart and surrender the resistance, so the resistance within yourself can be slayed, so the light and the life of the source can come through you into this realm, which will automatically expel and destroy the evil on the land automatically anyway. That's it. It's as simple as that.
Well said. And people have just got to grow up. It's like, look, I've said many, many times, I'm sick of hearing myself say it, but it needs to be said 1,000 times. You know, we've got a beautiful capacity inside ourselves to trust. We're like little children, you know, in the right environment, in the perfect harmonious world, which we should have a symbiotic world. That trust would be beautiful. You wouldn't have to be suspicious of someone, or, you know, we've got trust, and also we've got a tremendous capacity to endure suffering, pain, punishment, and boredom. That's great, you know, that's good. It keeps us going, but it's being taken full advantage of by these people. So listen, everybody, stop being wimps, right? It's like, stop saying, yes, you know, when you're told what to do, you do that, like when you're brainwashed from school, right? Yes, I'm sorry. Why? Because if you don't, you'll be punished. You'll have detention, or you'll have lines, or we'll tell your mummy and daddy. How about this I did on the show the other day? Ready? This is shamanic. This is spiritual. Ready? No!
Exactly.
Stop!
Yeah.
Stop!
Punish me if you can.
Yeah, that's bloody spiritual.
Yeah.
Not this, everybody, no, you mustn't say anything. That's why this shit's going down. That's why this is happening. Oh, Jason, that's not really spiritual. Yes, it is. That's why I like Mark Passio. Stop it. Grow up, for God's sake, before it's too late.
Yeah.
Right? So school brainwashes us, you know, and we've actually, the funniest thing is this prison that we've got of debt and fear and work and slavery, and, you know, we've bloody built it for them with our own hands. It's like, I was coming back from the supermarket recently, carrying my shopping, spent all that money, and I thought, oh my God, we've been pulled off our mother's teat, the earth. Yeah. Some bastards pulled off that teat and said, no, you'll get your food through me. You're not allowed to grow it anymore. And by the way, you haven't got time to grow it because you're a slave. Now get back to work and shut up. Now, and they've put themselves between, it's our mother's milk. The food's our mother's milk. Housing's our mother's milk. It's like, you shouldn't have to pay for that. Oh, come on, Jason. Of course you got to pay for food and housing. No, you shouldn't. You're born on this planet a free person, and then you're enslaved, you know? And it's so full of fear. Fear and debt paralyzes us and prevents us blossoming into beautiful beings, you know? So, and thank you for saying that as well. The symptoms of anger, the symptoms of depression, don't run from them. They're natural symptoms from a healthy, beautiful, spiritual being in a system that's driving it mad. If you didn't feel like you were going completely insane, there'd be something wrong with you. People come into my shop, Jason, I think I'm going to kill myself. Well, that's exactly how you should feel. Oh, yeah, but don't kill yourself, you know, don't kill yourself, because then, because then it's really one, hasn't it? You know, a mate of mine killed himself. So it's like, no, but feel those feelings. You should feel pissed off. But most people, the system's so designed to keep us all brave and heroic, which is good, you know, don't get me wrong. Hello, morning, how are you, Jason? Well, you really want to know? Well, this morning I didn't want to get out of bed. Last night I drank 2 bottles of wine to dull the pain. I haven't drunk for a while, actually. But it's like, well, oh my God. And I really feel depressed. I'm sick of my house. I'm sick of walking up and down the stairs, sick of paying the rent, sick of, do you want to hear more? Sick of this, sick of that, sick. Jesus, Jason, you've got real problems. You need to see a psychiatrist or get on antidepressants. No, I don't. That's how you should feel in a system of slavery. Now, if you're on the land growing your own food with your own electricity, your own water, and time, like my family from Kefalonia have got, the Greek people, they've got time. You see them sat down doing nothing. They live to be 100 and something because they're not wearing them out. wearing themselves out with worry and fear. So yes, we're all beautiful shamans. Jesus was right. And it's time to take that back and direct that energy wisely before it's too late. The prison gates are closing around us, guys. Anyway, that's my next rant. It's good. People need to get it off their chests. You know?
Absolutely. And real talk, that's why we have these lockdowns, because they don't want people conversating.
No.
They don't want people to have real talks. Because that's what these energies that are coming into the earth now, that's what they do. We start to connect with each other. We help each other heal ourselves.
They
2 weeks ago,
activate people.
yeah,
They-
2 weeks
they-
ago, I was down the market in Tottenham, right? All the benches are fenced off. You can't sit down, right?
Yeah.
There's police filming me. I'm going like this. Hello, you know. It's like, hang on, you're not allowed to hug. Oh, I will hug then. Thank you. Yeah, right in front of your camera. Hello, you know.
Yes. What are they going to do?
What are you going to do? Yeah. What are you going to do? You, like Mark said,
Make
you're
your
just,
move.
yeah, you're just what do you call them? What do you call them? I can't remember the police. But listen,
Lower level initiate.
yeah, and next
Little
week,
bitch boy.
yeah, that's right. Next week we're being allowed to sit on park benches again. Allowed.
Yeah.
What's happened to us?
Just
And-
rip them off in front of the police. What are you going to do?
Yeah.
Isn't it
Pull 'em
brilliantly
off.
done though? Isn't it?
But you know
brilliantly
what
done?
happened?
It's
That's
the
why I
perfect
always
storm. Go on.
That's why I always talk about COVID as the COVID effect. Okay. What has happened is that this has been in place for a long time, decades. Okay. Definitely ever since Austria, or in this case, England, has been part of the European Union. You've been run by a bunch of criminals. And what has happened with COVID is that what was in the unseen before has now just moved into the seen.
What a beautiful
That's
thing.
it.
What a beautiful thing.
It's incredible.
And that's beautiful. Now you can face it. Now you can really see how we can get out of this, because it's out in the open. You being a human being, like we on Saturday, for example, we collected fines one after the other. Oh, why are you not wearing a muzzle? Yeah, because I'm a human being. What are you going to do? So it's a great sign when just by being your humanity, you're being fined like mad. You know you're getting somewhere.
Police they hand out fines to us almost every day. And we just take them and say, oh, thank you. Some more toilet paper for me. No
Lovely.
problem.
Lovely.
Just tell them directly.
Lovely.
And that's to the people who get fines, you know, and think like they need to pay it. No, you are under the spell of a religion called government. Okay. And this government is a product of the mafia in the background. So they've actually already dismantled the nation state that you thought you had rights and your constitution or whatever. It does not and does not exist under COVID. What happened with COVID, and it's really important that people clock this, was a worldwide coup d'etat of technocracy.
Yep.
That's what's running your government. And if they would get the time, which they won't, because we're taking them down here and transforming the situation here in Austria where we are right now, if you give them time, the whole thing is going to be run by AI. And we're already under a technocracy. But the good thing is we know how it works, and that's why we don't pay any fines. The police issue a fine, and you know that this is criminal law. If I were to pay this fine, I would be a criminal in proxy.
Yep.
So therefore, I don't pay it. You have to go right to the end of this procedure to lose all your fear of the police by realizing that this would never stand up in court. Because it is not law, it's regulation. It's not law, because a law is a contract that has to be insured and it has to be very clear who takes the liability for damages caused. Who's liable when you're wearing a mask? You are, because you're wearing it. Simple. And when you know they can never take this to court, they can send you all the fines they want. They can write a few trillion on there. It won't ever go anywhere. And that's why you stand up to them and you just use it as further toilet paper. Never ever pay these fines and stand up for yourself and realize that you are in your power and they are criminals.
It's the truth. They are criminals. Go on, El.
The police in Vienna, they know who we are now. It's like whenever they get a call from a supermarket or anything like, or anywhere, oh, we've got people in here with no muzzles on. They know who it is. They know it's us. They don't even bother with us anymore. That's where we've come to now. At the end of the day, the police force are the foot soldiers, the modern day foot soldiers of the Knights Templar, which we engaged in battle with in the past, many lifetimes before.
What does Mark call them? I forgot. He's got a name from the police and the army. Not yes men, but he's got
Order followers.
Order followers. That's right.
That's all they are. They're just the foot soldiers of the Knights Templars
who have got mortgages to pay and kids to feed.
Yeah, believe me, they are very weak. When you stand up to them, they're weak. They're spiritually weak. There's nothing there. They're mentally weak. They're physically weak as well. It's all a front.
They're broken souls, like kids in school.
Yeah, that's why all the armor and the protection and the gear and the guns. You want to shoot me? Shoot me. What are you going to do?
Put me out of my misery, please.
When you face them in that manner, you see that they have no power. They run.
And that's what we need right now, is you face up to these criminals. And when you're stuck in a situation right now, as a lot in humanity, because this is a major transformation of the self, you're moving from one version of yourself to another, and there is resistance between that. So before you face them, you work on yourself. What I can give to people, for example, when they feel this sadness, feel it, express it, talk with people about it, talk real talk. And what also helps is you relax into your heart, soul essence. Do a discipline. We need to learn discipline again. Every day I wake up in the morning when I don't feel good in this lunatic asylum. When I wake up in the morning, I take 15 minutes and I relax into my heart, soul essence. And you only get the effects not immediately because everyone's driven by that Facebook quick response behavior. You think long term. It's your life that you're still here to live for another 40, 50, 60 years. So get up in the morning, make a cup of tea, and relax into your heart, soul essence. And then look where you stand after a month. Okay, that's why we say this, because we know a lot of people are suffering right now. Because as Eril explains, the demons just won't go that quickly. They will make a hell of a mess before they leave this planet.
Yeah. They won't just leave. We have to kick them off.
Yeah. You know something? I love what you said about the what did you say about about it destroying itself from the inside? And I love that, because I've been watching for a while now, and I actually put a call out in my book. I said one of the chapters is a call to all good people in government. Right. What I was saying is that they're so being exposed now for being unscrupulous mafia monsters. Right. The people in the lower echelons of government, please come out now, because if it's being so exposed now that you'll be seen to have stayed in there knowing it was rotten to the core. And that is happening. I'll give you an example. Tony Robbins, the motivational speaker. I never thought I'd ever hear someone like him come out and talk about the vaccines and about the numbers are rigged and stuff like that. And he is now. Okay, he hasn't got much to lose because he's got a lot of money. But I love that, because I was talking about that some time ago as well, and in my book, that it's like a cancer, isn't it? And it's almost eating itself. And it's like, I feel what's going on now is, years ago, there was always that molasses slowness time lag between when unscrupulous, terrible things were done and they were exposed by the spotlight of truth. An example would be the Iraq so-called war. Yeah. Only much later, woof, it all came out, what's going on. But by that time, government had changed, and this is what irritates me. And each change of government or politician, all is forgiven and forgotten from before. Oh no, that's got to stop now. Sorry, come back here, Sonny. Come back here. You did that. You get back in the spotlight. So I feel like all those things now are so exposed. It's almost before they happen, the spotlight of truth goes on them. And that's why they're trampling everyone who's telling the truth off the internet, like yourselves and me, and other people. But what I'm enjoying now is it's like, those CAT scans that looks for cancer, it's a full body scan, and that's what's happening now. There's a CAT scan going right around the planet, and no one can escape who's unjust and unethical and who's filthy, filthy, dirty, right? And that's beautiful. And I think it's like sort of how can I say it? It's a great opportunity. It really is. It's a great opportunity. And if you look, I was just thinking as I was listening to you guys now, when you were saying there's so many of us now, they know who we are. Well, do you know something? Years ago, you could be picked off really easy. Look at the Malcolm X's, the Martin Luther Kings, the Gandhis, all these types of people. Yeah. What happened to them? Boom. Now there's millions of Gandhis and millions of Martin Luther Kings. You're them, right? I dare I say, I want to be someone like that, who I can, on my deathbed in my baby's nappy, emaciated, skeletal, I want to say, I did my best to try and work for people who haven't been born yet, who are relying on us right now as the midwives to birth something new into being. That's what we're all here to do. It's not for our selfish selves. Stop being selfish bastards, everybody. Worrying about yourself. Think of not only your children, people who haven't been born. Yeah, but I don't even know those people who haven't been born. You are them. You know what I say to people? It's a bit cruel. Do you believe in reincarnation? I say to people who are saying, oh, no, everything's happening perfectly. They say, yeah. I say, well, watch out. Because if you don't do your job now to change things, you might be coming back in another body to suffer the fucking consequences of what you didn't do now.
That's real karma.
That's bloody karma.
Yeah.
Wow.
Right on, brother.
That's really powerful.
That's why we stand now.
Right. Watch out, you spiritual types. Yeah.
This is our realm. It's our earth.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'll be reincarnated. Yeah. Into your own shit.
Yeah.
Because you didn't do anything about it. You've been reincarnated into slavery, brothers and sisters, because you created it. It's a feedback loop and the consequences of, this is what I want to say. We don't only get feedback loops and consequences from doing something bad. You can get consequences from not doing anything. And the reason this system is snowballing on its trajectory is because not enough people are just saying no. Oh, well, we'll starve if we say no. They won't give us any money. They've got people by the balls, you know. Well, quickly sell all your houses. I'll talk about this to you again. We've got the Natural Earth Eco Living projects coming up. We're saying to people, listen, you worried about it? Yeah. Sell your houses then and buy farms. Come together as communities, grow your own food, have your own electricity. Then you can stick the finger up to the government. We got to get back to the goddamn land. Yeah. Anyway, go on. I'm ranting again, you know.
Then when they come for you on the land, that's when you physically face them and there's battle.
Oh yeah.
One thing is good, having the ideas for a new earth and creating our own food. That is the new earth. However, I see myself more like a cleaning woman. You see, oh yeah, you want to set up this new kitchen here and this bathroom there. Well, I have to clean up first. That's just the job that I do. I face up with the mafia. I know they're a bluff. I know in the highest echelons of power, that pyramid above the pyramid of the pyramid, they're psychologists, ancient psychologists.
Black magicians, brilliant.
Black magicians.
Exactly. We're facing them. Yeah.
And we have to face them. You see, that's why the government is mind control. You have to face the mind control. That's why I write notices of liability to the government. And you know why nothing happens to me? Because I do that action, because I show the source my courage, because I trust the life force energy, and I know this is a frequency reality. And when I do that action, I'm on a different frequency channel to what they can ever be in. And that's how reality really works. And this is the sort of knowledge that they really don't want us to know, because it has to do with quantum physics. And that's a reason that quantum physics we've had since the end of the 1920s, and we still have scientism running this world, which is a load
bullshit.
Of bullshit. Exactly.
It's there to destroy the earth and us, not to support life.
People have got to be surgeons now, cancer surgeons. That's what we are now. And like that CAT scan, you can't, look, I'm against digging cancer up. There's other ways, but sometimes maybe you've got to do it. I don't know. My dad had half his colon out. Perhaps he would have poison himself. I don't know. But anyway, listen, you can't leave any cancer in there because it'll just do the same thing again. He says it's evil, it's dirty, it's evil. And that's why it's all got to be dug out now. Everything, no place left and no stone unturned. Anything left, anyone else that's going to do terrible things, what are you going to do? Look, I'm not all for ayahuasca, but like someone once said, any politician should do ayahuasca 5 times before they go into politics, But, I had a bad night on ayahuasca, but it did the trick, but it's not for everybody. But listen, people have got to be proven. And government slavery, like Mark says, Mark, thank you. Government slavery, end of story. Whoever you see in there in its current form, government slavery. That's it.
But what I want to add to that is the one thing is to know what government is, but you have to face the root cause of the problem, which is mind control. What is the matrix? It is mind control. And what I see in the truth community a lot is speaking a lot about the system, but not actually facing it. Who's writing to their governments? Who's actually telling them they're liable? And the way I do it is I offer them a solution. I come from a place of love. I don't just hit them with it because they're human beings like me too, and they're trapped in that system. But who's actually approaching them? No one, because they're all talking about the politicians being the bad guys. A lot of the people still in the truth community have to learn a big lesson, because you engage with your enemy and you realize that the enemy is deep in the shadows because they're scared shitless of the power of human beings. And we need to connect with the people we can still connect with, called government, people trapped in that system, even if they are immoral. But when I tell them they're liable, they will listen, because in the Second World War, we had the Nuremberg trials. Yes, they were fake. Most Nazis got out through Operation Paperclip, but that's what they're staring down. We're just about to hit it. The government is about to be dismantled. And then we're talking about new Nuremberg trials. And then someone like me comes up to them and says, you're privately liable, hang on. You still got a chance now to change to the right side of history. Are you going to take it? Now that's an offer.
Yeah, that's an offer. Yeah, that's an offer. And I think a lot of these, maybe they don't know, but there's what I was taught by someone really knew what he's on about. He said there's a place inaccessible to the unjust, and I'm really glad of that, So you can't get through the cogs. You might be able to go so far, but I'm delighted now, and that's why they're accelerating their agenda, because they know humanity's waking up at a massive rate. Quick, shut them up. Quick, digitally monetize them. Quick, enslave them. Quick, and that's why I'm glad, and I really appreciate people like yourself. And I can tell everyone right now on this show, I've been called a terrible hypocrite, and I had to throw someone out of the shop once. And if you're watching, I really regretted that. But someone was really attacking me badly and saying, "You're a hypocrite. You got your shows. You haven't handed in your birth certificate. You haven't done this. You haven't done that." Listen, I'm still renting my house. I'm renting my shop. I'm in a very precarious situation. And by the way, let me tell you, I've been homeless. I've gone in bins. I was homeless in Cape Town. I was shot at in Cape Town. I was homeless living in a car in Florida. I've really been in the shit. So what I want to say to everybody is timing's very important with all these things. For me, right now, it's not the right time to do that, right? But, and I want to say that now, Steve, on the show, simply because it might give other people a bit of strength who are also frightened to do it now, right? But this is what I want to say to you guys. Thank you to you. Thank you to Michael Bernicia. Thank you to Lena Pooh. Thank you to all you people, because what you're doing is you're out in front saying, watch me do it. Watch me. It's possible. We're going to do this. You're out there like in front of the cavalry saying it can be done. Watch. And with the momentum, it will go forward. And then other people like me behind will then start. You know what I mean, Steve? So I want to say thank you for your courage for doing that. Thank you so much. Don't get me wrong. I'm not a wimp. I'm cheeky. I was I was in front of the police when I was speaking with David Icke's son. I had drones flying over my head. And in lockdown, man, I was risking a lot. I got a family to feed. So,
what I quickly want to emphasize is that not everyone has to do that.
Yeah.
I'm speaking to the people who get activated in what I say, and then they know that's what they're meant to do.
Yeah.
And that's why we have the Gnostic Takeover common unity, on Telegram where people are organizing each other, talking with each other, exchanging information, because you get a calling for it.
Yeah.
Not everyone has to do this.
Yeah.
And everyone has a different piece of the puzzle. I find it great you brought that up, because it's important to emphasize that everyone has in their responsibility to put their puzzle piece forward for humanity.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's missing.
Yeah, yeah, which makes
Yeah.
it the whole. Yep, yep.
Because Gnosticism is dangerous for the church. You know why? Because the foundations of the church is built on the information and the knowledge they stole from the Gnostics. So now you have people like the Pope talking about the dangers of Gnosticism, because they know, the church knows now they're coming down. And true Gnosticism and shamanism and the way the natives used to live is coming back now. That's the real power that's going to govern now.
Absolutely. And I've said, I know I keep going on about this, but I actually said to those guys, I won't say their names, they know if they're listening. And I asked them, quite prominent people in the circles we work in. I said, at what point do you think, I said, because you know that we can use that power to stop things, yeah? There's no doubt about it, yeah? If enough people just, not to hurt or use it as a weapon, although I must say, I said that to a woman, if someone's sodomizing a child next door, if I can use my power to stop them, then I would, right? I would, and I'd suffer the karmic consequences, or whatever. But I think, and I said, at what point have we got to actually use that? And as a power, it's a huge power, the manipulation of matter via consciousness, you know? I've had it used on me by a very gifted man who was very irresponsible to hurt me so much with that power. I didn't deserve that. I put my nose in where I shouldn't have, and he really got me. My God, he was in the room with me from a distance, and he gave me horrible pain, and it was him. It was terrifying. It was the greatest lesson I've ever had in my life, because it made me realize that is there, that is possible. And I'm not saying to use it like that, but the greatest emergency now, in our weakened state as humanity, we're all just literally waiting. Not all, a lot of people are still just waiting for what they're going to tell us to do next. It's like, and they'll just say anything, yes, anything, vaccinate me. Do you want to have a little quick chat about that before? I know we always run out of time, you guys. Before we go, we got a little bit of time left, but do you want to give people a few facts and basic stuff? And most people watching this show will know it, you know, to try and shake people a bit. I mean, come on, look at the numbers, you know. People are coming out and saying, hang on a minute, something's wrong here, you know. And people are taking to the streets. No, I'm not going to have the vaccination. I'm not going to be forced to do that. There's things in it. I had some people on my show, they tell you what's in it, and it's terrifying, you know. No, it's like the Nuremberg. Professor Francis Boyle said to me, tell the people, this is like Nuremberg. You don't do this. Don't take this thing, you know. Once you've done it, there's no going back. But anyway, anything about that? And then I'd like to get someone asked me to ask you both about this guy, you know. And someone asked me in my email and said, who's this guy? Is he the savior, or is he a Satan's helper, or a lot of people have rested their whole entire hope on him. I never did. Is it a sleight of hand and trick? What go on?
Just another symptom.
The McDonald clown they've been grooming since birth. Yeah. For this time, basically. Exactly. Another lower level initiate puppet.
Serving his purpose. And after the left side of the political Hegelian dialectic spectrum was duped through Obama, they thought, let's dupe the right side of the spectrum. And they're both the same.
Because a lot of people that I know are actually waiting for him to still save them. It's like he's got a trick up his sleeve. Even if he was dead and they'd be lowering him into his hole in his casket, they'd be saying he's got something planned. He's going to expose everybody. I don't know. What's your thoughts? I mean, do you think he's quite a good guy, or do you think he tried to go in there and do something good and he didn't have a chance, or do you think he's completely controlled just to distract everybody? I mean, what's going on?
It's all a game, fear to distract everybody. PSYOP.
Right.
That's all it was. And he played his game well.
And it's all about not realizing what's really driving this world. This Trump phenomena, like the vaccine, like 5G, I can say it here, like COVID and all of it, there are shadow projections on the wall and people are mesmerized by it. There's so many things the mind can get attached to and like string this together and this together, but they don't want to change.
It's not the real problem.
They don't want to alchemize their darkness into the light, because that's how real light shamanism works. You take that darkness, you draw it in. That's what we do at the demos, for example. I'm knocked out for 2-3 days after doing a shamanic ritual with 60, 70,000 people. I'm knocked out because I'm drawing in all that dark energy and I'm alchemizing them in my being. And that's the reason why these demonstrations are totally peaceful, because we've taken full responsibility.
They're ceremonies.
They're ceremonies. And that's what's really going to change things. All this Trump psyop and all of that, all it's based on is that you do not take charge yourself, and that you don't realize that you came into this life to take charge because you want, that's why I loved what you said before, is what a feeling to know that you tried the best you can for humanity. And that's how you die, with honor and with pride. And that's what really counts in life. And that's what I say with the notice of liability. Like, people, you could be the first one in your country doing this. And it's a beautiful feeling. I love all these stages that I've gone through. And I'm pulling the trigger now this week to, basically see what happens after that. I just do action. I do it, what I do, I don't get paid for it. And I then withdraw, let go, no stake in the outcome, and see what happens from there. But all I know is that nothing can ever happen to me, because I am working for humanity and the planet, and there is nothing more honorable, and that's the highest vibration.
Absolutely. I love the distillation thing. It's like I wrote about it in my book. I forgot what the chapter was called, but I gave the analogy. It's not an analogy, it's the truth. That at some point, and that was 10 years ago, but it's now, people are being held over a flame. It's like the distillation process when you distill alcohol, you put something over the flame and it's taking the dross away, and people have got to be over that flame now. We're over that flame now. And a lot of people will just say, I can't stand it, and just go back to being wimpy again, like in school. Yes, sorry, But a lot of people, it's that alchemical distillation, the spiritual alchemical distillation of the self. That's what it is now.
The purifying fires of the light of the source, which is coming through right now.
Yeah.
And that's where the distraction is from.
I mean, people often, we've got so used to it now. Mark's an expert at talking about this. Mark Passio, I mean, we're so used to it now. I always say, imagine a being coming from another planet and coming to see you and saying, can you show me your wisest beings? Imagine showing him Boris Johnson and bloody whatever his name is in America and all these people, that Chinese sort of guy. It's like, what the hell's going on this place? And it's like, imagine listening to people and watching people going to work and coming home, going to work and coming home. I mean, if they're watching now, they'd be thinking, oh my God, it stopped. Thank God, maybe they've become enlightened. No, they've just been told to shut up and sit down by their leaders, the evil ones, while they get something else ready for them, bigger shackles, But it's bloody great to speak to you both. Honestly, it really is. I know I go off on a bit of a wild one, but what's happening next? Tell us what's going on over there. What's happening in Vienna? What is the feeling in the air there? I saw the marches. I saw you in it, Steve, actually, on one of the marches, on one of the live ones, I think it was. I said, there he is. Yeah. And it seemed like you said, like a lot of power, a lot of focus. They weren't all these wild hippies. It was just sensible, focused people, What's next? What do you see coming next, Steve and Eril?
So the momentum has been building since May 2020. So we've been out every week now in Linz for 40 weeks straight. A lot of energy, momentum, and now we're reaching the end of that cycle. And I talked about this the last time I was on your show. The 21st of March is the real beginning of the new year. That's where the sine wave goes up, and it goes in one full cycle. It's a sine wave, and it's a frequency universe. And until the 21st of March, I expect 100% the government is gone here in Austria, including the mafia. That's what I say with absolute assurance, because I have to be, because I'm creating it. And because we have the energy momentum. And I've put so much work into this the whole year that now at the final stage, we're making sure that it's going to happen. And when the first pyramid falls in the world, and I'm happy to be proven otherwise, but I know it's going to happen. The first one is going to be in Austria. And what I'm doing right now, what I'm working on right now is this is the best offer you could get as a politician. Just change sides. We've got you. We've got tens of thousands of people out there. And if you are scared of the mafia, because we have to understand the situation politicians are in, Boris Johnson is in, they can't get out of this. They do not possess the knowledge of Gnosticism that me and Eril possess, for example. Therefore, we tell the politicians, guys, you're scared of the mafia. Let me deal with the mafia.
Mhm.
Let me deal with them.
Yes.
And I say this with absolute assurance. A mafia, by definition, a mafiosi is only a mafiosi in the perception of other people. It's all a perception deception. You have to face them and know that they're a bluff. That's what they are. They're a bluff.
And most of them, sorry to jump in, most of them are wimps. I mean, if you look at,
All of them.
I've known some really heavy dudes, in Cardiff. I'm from there. I mean, if you want something done, you just give someone 200 quid and it's done, right? They'll wee their pants in fear when those guys go and see them. So I'm not talking about that. It's these types, the Blairs and these people, the puppets, the stupid wanky puppets. Look, I'd have respect for them if they were in the front in the charge towards Iraq. Come on, boys! No, they're behind, letting all the other people die. They're wimps. They're putting a cannon fodder forward, the police and the bloody army. What are they? They're pathetic wimps. Now, okay, there's higher echelons above them who are pretty heavy, but listen, it's your chance to come across to the light. Believe me, this is it.
Exactly.
This is the fork in the road right now. And there was with no place for evil to hide. No place. The light's too bright now. You can close the internet down as much as you want. It's more than the internet, isn't it? On a higher echelon.
It's the inevitable.
Could I add something to this? The mafia, they're not in charge, because the reason they're not in charge is they're irresponsible. They're not responsible.
They want all the power, but they don't want to take responsibility.
So they're not in charge because they're not responsible. They're not in command. The ones who are in command are those who take full responsibility for themselves, humanity, and the entire planet, this entire creation.
Their actions.
Those are the ones in command
Yeah.
and in full charge of the powers of the source working through them. They run the show. So you have to make the intention. You have to say, I'm fully responsible for this planet. I'm the protector of this and the preserver of this planet. And I take full responsibility. Then you're in full command with full charge.
And that's how easy it works. But it's a process to get to that point. And I'm at that point where I'm writing this directly to every politician of this country. And I'm telling them, there's your chance to move on the other side of history, and you step back and we can talk. Don't worry. Take care of your family. Okay, we know how much pressure you've been under and we can talk about this, but it's over now. If you escalate further in this country, and you're going to be the reason why there's a civil war happening here, and I will still be here and I'll make you privately liable. But now step back. And if I know the psychology of them by feeling into them, it's the perfect opportunity to end this crisis, because they are the ones, again, even more enslaved than us. They have to wear the muzzles. They have to play as if this thing is real. They're the most enslaved. So we can all be free together. The only reason why they're not changing anything is because they're scared of the mafia. And I'm telling them, let me speak to the mafia and it'll be fine. Everything's good.
Yeah.
That's my responsibility. It's our planet. I see myself fully responsible for this planet, and therefore I have to face the ones that think they can mess with this planet, because they can't anymore, because I decide so.
Because he and I have more power than the mafia, because we're in charge, full charge. because we've taken command, responsibility, which they haven't. And we're going in full charge. It's an energetic frequency universe. It's a charge. We take on that charge.
And on
That charge operates for us, not them. They have no charge. They lack power.
And on that level, I'll give them one more warning before we go, yeah? And this is, I'm not saying this is my job, but I've had this proved to me many times because I've done some shamanic work, etc. But I'm not an expert, but I know something. There's nowhere to hide. If you're doing evil things, you will be found, you can be found. And I'm not saying I'd be the one to go there and give you pain through the ether. I don't do that, okay? Unless you're threatening my family or something terrible like that, then I will find you. And I'm not saying that lightly, but once people who are who have got back in touch with themselves, you can be found. There's nowhere to hide. Yeah, energetically, you can't run away anymore. And it's a very, very fascinating time. And there is a new world that wants to be born. I've said it many times. But each person watching this, you're the midwife. You can't hand it over to Stephen Wybrow and Eril anymore. You can't say, well, I'll wait for them to do it. I'll wait for Martin Luther King to do it. You're the Martin Luther Kings. You're all here. You're on Mother Earth, and you're God, actually. You're God. Yeah. And you've got to remember that, and then be very careful how you use that power.
A true creator is responsible. The foundation of all creation is responsibility. You cannot create unless you're a responsible creator. The moment you take on the responsibility, you have the authority.
Well said, Eril. Well said. Listen, where can guys find it? I'll show off my book again, The Emergency Transformation of Human Beings. Get that on my website, jasonliosatos.com. Where can people find you guys if they want to contact you? You're working with Mark, aren't you? You've got a podcast with him now, right?
I'm on the One Great Work Network together with Eril. It's actually us two. We formed the Gnostic Takeover. And you can find us on Telegram as Gnosis Unity. And also I'll send you the link to that, and on our BitChute channel. And we want to set up other channels as soon as I get this job done, because that's the most important thing I'm focusing right now. And yeah, I'll share you the links and people can find us and join in on us, because that's what it's there for on Telegram. People exchanging ideas and finding solutions together. That's what it's all about. That's why we share all this information for free for other people, because we don't do commerce. That's why we're not attached to the matrix, because we don't do commerce. We're in trust to the source for providing us with what we need, and when we help humanity, we know we'll get help back. So that's how we.
And Mark's channel, remind me of it again, just so and I'll put a link to Mark's
the One Great Work Network.
That's it, the One Great Work Network. And I often point people towards Mark if they're needing if I'm feeling a bit low or a bit, oh God, I'll just listen to Mark, you know. It's like, it's like, you know, it's like, oh God, you know, that guy, amazing. You know, I'm not joking. Listen, guys, it's been great speaking to you. Honest to God, it really has again. And thank you, Eril. Great to meet you. And you know, it's been a great chat. And I'll just say to everyone that's watching this, you know, now's the time. Don't screw up. You know, don't give up on yourself. You know. Don't turn on yourself. Use this time as an opportunity to really come home to yourself, because that's what you're being asked to do. Come home to your spirit. Our wills and our spirits have been broken. From when we're children, like wild horses, we've been broken and tamed, and it's time to take that back, because something else wants you to take that back. You know, I could go on about it all day. But thanks, guys. Thanks, everyone, for watching. Love you all dearly. And you're very special. Never forget it, right?
Yeah.
Take care, right?